For the first time today that I stand here before you as a Minister of the ICT and Postal Service to give you a briefing about the ongoing situation at Heglig. The government of the Republic of South Sudan would like to address the evolving situation in the Heglig oil fields. Following recent clashes between the Sudan Armed Forces, SAF, and the Rapid Support Forces, RSF. These clashes resulted into tactical withdrawal of the SAF forces, led by Hamid, the Brigadier Tariq Mukhtar of Brigade 90, Division 22, that is based in Babanusa. They withdrew towards the territory of the Republic of South Sudan, the area of Panthou area in Unity State. So the SAF unit that entered into the Republic of South Sudan, as required by international law, have to surrender their weapons to the SSPDF, South Sudan People Defense Forces that were in the area to protect the oil fields and also protect our international borders. There was no hostility, so the forces that entered into South Sudan are safe, and they are now being arranged to be taken back to their country. They ended weapons as required by international law. So following this development, the Tripartite agreement has been reached among the SSPDF, the SAF, and RSF, the three armies in the area. That included the South Sudan People Defense Forces and Sudan Armed Forces and the Rapid Support Forces have agreed, and that agreement has granted the SSPDF primary security responsibility over the Heglig oil field, also known as Panthou, amid rising insecurity in the area. His Excellency President Salva Kiir Mayardit, on his side, which the government of South Sudan command under his leadership, have intervened and have been talking to two sides of the war in the Sudan, led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan of the Supreme Council of the Sudan, and the other forces, which are the RSF forces led by General Mohammed Hamdan Doglo. The President talked to them on phone so that they de-escalate the situation. The RSF forces withdrew northern part of Heglig so that the Heglig oil area remains under the South Sudan People Defense Force. Since the start of war in Sudan, the government of the Republic of South Sudan has consistently advocated for a peaceful and diplomatic resolution of the conflict. And His Excellency Salva Kiir Mayardit, the President of the Republic of South Sudan, has played a pivotal role in this effort to encourage both sides towards negotiation and dialogue. Notwithstanding, the renewed fighting continues to negatively impact the lives and property of the Sudanese population and has intensified displacement affecting South Sudanese through the continued influx of our brothers and sisters from Sudan that are seeking safety inside our country. The government of the Republic of South Sudan regret these new bouts of hostilities and urge both the Sudanese Armed Forces and SAF and the Rapid Support Forces to embrace the ongoing regional and international mediation, and also to continue to respect the agreement that they have actually reached when President Salva Kiir contacted both leaders to de-escalate the situation, and also to avoid fighting in the oil field, because both parties may have the power to destroy the oil field, but they may not necessarily be having any power to stop the vast oil field. If the oil field inflames in fire, they will not be able to extinguish those fires. So the President of the Republic of South Sudan wanted all these parties, the parties in war in Sudan, to ensure that they are not fighting along the oil field. They have to leave the oil field. Of course, the contrast has been going on around oil field simply because each party in the conflict wanted to control the oil field. But now, under the government of the Republic of South Sudan, under the South Sudan People Defense Forces, the President is urging the parties in war to avoid fighting in the oil field area. Another thing that happened was an issue of a drone that we have not up to this point know the source of the drone that has killed our men, that are the members of National Army, in which 7 of them lost their life as a result of a drone attack. Those 7, one was not completely identified simply because it was banned beyond recognition, but the 6 of them have their name, and their families will be informed accordingly, and later on their names will be actually released to the media. But for meantime, we have lost 7 members of the National Security Forces, and one is not known up to now, simply because he was banned completely. So we will update the public when we verify those names in the due course. The border communities and the general public are urged to remain calm, particularly those around the area that is close to Heglig, the area of Panthou and Ruwing administrative area that are close to the area of fighting. The people are asked by the government to remain calm, as the escalation is not going to get them, because the 2 parties in the war in Sudan are almost now accepting not to fight in the oil fields. So we urge our citizens not to rely also on an unofficial statement, because I know the social media nowadays, and since the start of Facebook, Instagram, and all the other social media platforms, some have been using them to incite. Some have been using those media platform to spread unfounded news, and I want to appeal particularly to the journalists to ensure that they are working in accordance with the ethic of professional journalists, which verify the information before they put it online. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I will now beg to stop here and wait for your questions.